I hope everyone is doing very well. Welcome to another live session. Um, welcome to another live session. I hope everyone read the last release note. I'm gonna dive straight into it. Okay. If you haven't, then you can always let me just share it quickly before we start. I've sent a reminder by email just like 30 minutes ago, so I believe everyone should have received it, but let me just add it once again in the chat. There you go. So welcome everyone to this latest release session. I will dive straight into it. Now, as so I've dropped the link in the chat, so I hope you all open it so you can follow live basically what we're about to show. I am going to share my screen and go over it one by one. And then, of course, we have time for a Q&A and much more. Happy to stay as long as needed to answer all questions, so it doesn't have to be related to this live session. It can be questions about anything. Just remember, don't be too precise with examples or with your account details, because obviously there are other people and other accounts in this live session, so you want to keep your own stuff private. Let's share the screen. There you go. I think you can all see yep, you can all see it here. I am going to go into now. First, well, you all know the screen, you all know this, but the first thing that we have released, we have released now is within the identity module. You now have a search bar, right? You can basically search on anything you want. It's basically on profiles, the users, and you can basically also, if you're on a corporate license, you can create a profile straight away from here, or you can invite a user. So if I click over here, then I can straight away invite a user into my workspace or my work environment, basically your account, and give it an account admin role or a limited access based on the amount of profiles that you have. If you're on the premier or below license, then obviously you have access to one profile. So it's maybe the create profile wouldn't matter, and you wouldn't even see it. You will only see the invite users. It's basically, if I want to search over here, I can search straight away to users or profiles. Okay. Small enhancement, but I still wanted to mention it so that you can basically work faster within the identity module. Now, the second part, or the second feature that we have redeveloped or rewritten and released, is basically a smarter, like everything related to price calculation is now within the code in one section. Okay. And we're going to call every time there is a guest registering and selecting a category or like a ticket option or whatever. It's going to do a call to one piece of code that is isolated, and this to prevent any issues. So it's going to do one call, calculate, get back into the event website so that your attendee has the right price, right discount if needed, etc. Okay, so it's just to give you a small piece of context. Sorry, the calculation was done at different levels within the code before, and we have harmonized that into one calculation method to, first of all, being able to add more features based on ticketing, pricing, etc. in the future, maybe stage payments, it's things like that. You can add maybe different prices that's going to be released in the future as well. So basically say, okay, my event is in 6 months, with starting from now, in the next 2 months, it will be this price, and then this price, and then this price, and then this price. So it's basically an early bird, but different early birds, different prices at different periods. So those are features that we are going to release in the near future, but we needed to rewrite that code to make that possible. Okay, so basically we've rewritten that piece of code, which I will show you in a minute, to enhance the functionality and to be able to improve further developments. Okay, so if I go into an example over here, these are test events. I know that I've added a user guide over there. I hope it's pretty clear, and it's basically especially around discounts and the early bird feature, okay? The coupons that you can add and the volume discount. Now, how does it really work is, as we have those three different discounts, you can create basically any type of setups. It can go from very simple to very complicated, and we have those different discounts for that basically. Now, how does it work is, if you want to mix different discounts, then you can. And how do we do it is, we first calculate the early bird because it's directly related to that price at that specific moment. Then comes the coupons, okay? You can add it around the total amount of the booking, or to a specific category, or to a specific option, or basically to all categories or all options. Okay, so you have full flexibility there, and you obviously add a expiration date and a coupon code, and then you choose, well, is it a fixed amount or is it a percentage? Okay, that's around the coupons. Now, important to understand about the coupons is that if I register as an attendee today, I enter my coupon and I then edit my registration. Okay, if you have allowed that to happen, then I'm not able to add another coupon. Okay, so in my coupon field doesn't appear anymore, and it's going to calculate the coupon that was already added. Okay, so you can't just change that. Now, the volume discount is calculated in a specific way. We've added some functionalities over there, and that's why within the release note it says smarter volume discount handling. Okay, and what does that actually mean is that we have added the ability to add a volume discount on specific items, which was already the case, but it was written a bit differently. But you can now choose, okay, you choose your quantity. It's a bit different. The interface has been changed. You can choose, okay, if I select 10 amount, well, that's maybe too much, but if I say, okay, if you select as a registrant, you select 3 tickets, 3 quantities, then you have a 10% discount. Okay, if you want to add that expiration date, you can. But let's say we apply it to all categories, that still means it's going to be per item. Okay, so let's say I've added the ability to select multiple tickets, basically on my own name as an attendee, or a group registration, then and it's each, well, I register on my name, and then I register, I don't know, my wife. I don't have a wife, but my wife, and I say, and I have to fill in all her details, and then I select her ticket. That's basically a group registration. Okay, now it's gonna be still per item. Okay, so if I say here all categories, then it's gonna be like all categories of that specific item. Now, let's say I just want to do member registration, then obviously if I select 3 tickets of member registration, then I get that 10% discount. Okay, so it's per item. What we have added is per option the ability, let's say, now it's still per option, okay? But if I add a second option over here, I now have the ability to choose between per option or options combined. What does that actually mean is, if let's say I say, I'm just gonna add it so it stays simple. Let's say I register to the event and I select option 1, option 2, and option 3, then I get a 10% discount because it's combined. Okay, so 3. Let's say I just select one of each, it's still combined 3, and that means if I've selected this, of course, then it's combined, the quantity is combined. Okay, so there is a difference here. It's not for not for categories, only for options, that we have added that functionality. I hope that was pretty clear. Now, it's quite interesting to read that article, not because I've written it, but also because there are some important details to understand. There are important questions that are asked, and like use cases that you can follow. So please have a look at it. Even if you're familiar with volume discounts, even if you know it, if you knew you're already using it, I'm sure you will learn something from that user guide over here. And I'm just going to drop it still in the chat. Let me put it here. By the way, if you have any questions, I know there will be a Q&A at the end, but still, you can still interrupt me. Please don't be shy. Okay. Now, that was regarding the volume discount. Okay. So just important to understand, we've centralized the calculation of the price to be less like to remove any bugs, to make it more efficient, and of course to add in the future additional functionalities. Now, another thing that we've added within the release note was the the ability to create conditions on specific categories. Now, you all know our form conditions, of course, available starting from our premium license. I believe so, if I'm not mistaken. And you can create basically conditions within the form. Okay, like you all know, you can say, let's say I want to add a condition here, and I say first equal Sami, then I will perform an action. Basically, show a field or show a category or remove a category. Okay, hide a category basically. Now, what did we add is the ability here. Sorry, let me add a trigger and say, okay, now I can say if, well, I can obviously say if this is selected, then hide or show this. But I can also say now, if this category members is sold out, then I perform a specific action. Okay. Obviously, depending on how if you're asking for the ticket page first or the form, you can perform different actions. But let's say you just want to keep it simple. Someone or the category member is sold out, then I could perform, let's say I then show the category press, okay? Or I can show different ticket types based on this category being sold out or et cetera, okay? So this is a nice additional feature that we've implemented so that you have more flexibility there, okay? Now, the next functionality that we've added is the ability to link. Well, we already used to link specific registration like statuses, attendee statuses to categories. Okay. We've released that a few months ago. And now we have the ability to not only link attending statuses. So, like, say, for example, complete or confirmed or any registration status that you create yourself within your profile settings that I'll show you in a second. You can now also link non-attending statuses. What is that? Is like a status that is not counting in the stock management. Okay, so I'm gonna go into the profile settings over here, and let's say I'm just gonna go into whatever registration status page in the profile, and I will look at, you have the pending statuses. You all know, all familiar with that. If you use our restricted registration, then obviously you have that pre-important status, which is a pending status. It's not a status that you can modify or remove because it has a specific role within the platform. Okay, notify me, registering, abandoned. Okay, those are the pending statuses. Registering is basically if you have a group registration and you do not finalize your registration, you just quit, then if you already registered one, then you're registering. Abandon is basically if it stays 1 hour registering, then it's abandoned. But not going to in too many details into that status feature. Let's go. You have your attending statuses that you all know, complete, confirmed. If you want to add any status over here, you can. Let's say it's VIP, whatever. You can create those statuses. We can create those statuses. Now, what we also have is, of course, our not attending statuses, which are not counting in the stock management. Okay, so you have, of course, our cancel status, rejected, not coming status, and you can basically create any type of non-attending status. Like, let's say you do want to create a specific kind of waiting list, or a to be approved status, and you don't want that to be accounted into your stock management because that person is not considered fully registered, then you can link a non-attending status over here to a specific category. And that specific category, if you click on, let's say, when I would create one, and it's going to be to waiting lists, or approved, or whatever, not fully registered, then I can create it and link it over here. Okay. So it's within a specific category that you will link those non-attending statuses. It's quite like specific, and it's very, very advanced. So no need to go too much into details into that and into the use cases. But basically you have a user guide that explains everything about customer registration statuses and how far we can go. Okay. Because obviously, as we are focused fully on registration, we try to go as far as possible into the registration process and track management of attendees, basically. That was it regarding the non-attending registration status linked to categories. Now, my favorite subject of the moment is, of course, e-invoicing. Now, I know that this does not apply to everyone, so I'm not going to go into too much details. I've added a user guide in, and I'm going to add it into the chat because it's a very hot topic at the moment, and I still think that if it concerns you, if the European mandates are applying to you right now, very soon. I know that Belgium, it's January 1st, 2026, that every invoice sent out and received has to be in e-invoicing format. Okay. So I've added again an article in the chat, which I will quickly give a little bit of a reminder for everyone that is concerned about e-invoicing, as it's a very complicated topic as well. Let me go straight into, this is our testing environment. 5 minutes, 3-4 minutes, basically. Within identity module, you can, within, you'll always have your profile settings, you have your company information, okay? And then you can, within the invoicing details, if it's not activated yet, activate those, put in your information. You will have to add your VAT number, bank account number, and IBAN, some information over here, and then you can activate e-invoicing. Okay. Now, just to give you a quick view on what it is, like for now, e-invoicing is fully working and operational for Belgium, the Netherlands, Luxembourg, Germany, Sweden, and Ireland. Okay. Now, what does that actually mean here is you are basically going to create a supplier on the Peppol network. This, once you have activated this, okay, you are basically allowed to send, or you will send e-invoicing to the Peppol network, which is basically an email, well, the email, as if you would send an email to someone, you are sending an invoice in XML format, a specific format that, every accounting system can read, and it's the same format. You are going to send that to the server, and that will be sent to the right person. The right person is the customer, is basically the one registering. Okay. Within the form, you will ask for the invoicing details, VAT number, and that then will be the invoice will be sent in PDF format and also in e-invoicing format, in XML format. Okay. Now, the normal PDF way of working is not going to change. You will still see always your invoice in PDF format. And you will also, if activated, send an e-invoice. Okay. again, you as a account holder, event organizer, the only thing that you are responsible for is sending that invoicing to the network, to the PEPL network. If it's accepted, rejected, that's a different story, but it will, in the right format, of course, be sent, and that's the only thing that you're responsible for. Okay, so we are basically sending it by email in PDF format, and also it will be automatically sent to the PEPL network. Yes, you will get a recording, obviously. Every session is recorded. Every session is added into each release note that you will find. You will find a section on the on our official website, which is here. Again, I will add it into the chat. Oh, that's not what I wanted to copy. Here. So there you have the link to all our product releases, all our recordings. Every session is recorded and added to the right release note. Okay. And obviously, please send me any questions you have, anything I can help with. I'm happy to assist you with that. So, but there's a lot of information there, a lot of videos, a lot of things that you can look at to understand the platform better and each functionality that we present. Now, once you've created a supplier, you're going to send e-invoices to the PEPL network. If that person is already on the PEPL network, that means that person is the registrant with the VAT number. It's going to detect it. It's going to send it. It's basically going to receive it. But anyway, you still send it as a PDF format. Okay. It's basically like sending an email to someone. If he's on the other side, receiving side, and he's accepting to, like if he's on the PEPL network, then the email will come, the invoicing will come. Otherwise, it's not coming, and that's not the end of the world. Okay. That's regarding the activation of the supplier. Now, let me quickly go here within the invoicing module. Let me go into production. Yeah. Now, within our invoicing module, you see here a column saying e-invoicing. You will see different, like you will have different colors of statuses with an icon saying the e-invoicing is sent to the PEPL network, the e-invoicing has been correctly delivered, and the e-invoice, or there is an error, and that depending on that, there will be a specific color. Okay. And we're still basically every day, every release going to release new stuff about e-invoicing, as this is going to be a huge thing in the future, especially in Europe, of course, where the mandates are coming or are in set. So in the coming next years, it's going to be very, very, very popular. So that's what we are preparing for. We have a solid invoicing module with a lot of features, a lot of capabilities, a lot of VAT tax management and all that stuff. But we are also adding that layer of e-invoicing, and it's going to be very, very big in the coming month. So I am quite excited about it. Becoming an accountant, basically. But yeah, that's regarding e-invoicing. Look at the user guide. It's all explained there. It's pretty, or it should be clear. If it's not clear enough, let me know, because I've written it and I'm very happy to get some feedback on that, so I know better next time. Of course, credit notes, same thing. Receipts are not going to be sent to the PEPL network, as receipts are not official documents recognized by accounting software. I mean, it's not an official financial document. Okay, so it's invoices and credit notes. And of course, you need to have the conditions met in your form for the attendee to register, putting all this invoicing information like VAT number, company name, company address. All of that stuff needs to be used. And I'm very quickly going to give you, but it's all in there as well in the user guide, a quick tip. Now, within your form, obviously you have your company information, all should be activated. If you want to use an VT number and the country, if you want to use this field, which is by default should be or is activated, then don't forget to activate all those and probably make them mandatory. Okay, so if you want to allow specific invoicing data that is different from the company data, then of course make this mandatory. But it's all in there, it's all explained. But these fields are mandatory to create a right XML format and basically to create a correct invoice. Okay. Now, an important tip here. It's not in here, but it's, yeah. An important tip here is if you want to check the validity of a VAT number within your form, then make sure to activate the VIS check. Okay. Now this is going to check if the VAT number basically exists. Okay. So you'll have it all there. It's going to check if that VAT number that was inserted is correct. Okay. So if I'll say, for example, Belgium, then it's going to check on the BE whatever number that I've added. This is an API check that we do, and that will, within the form on the event website, say, okay, the VAT number that was added into the form is valid or not valid. It won't, it's not preventing the attendee to register. Important. We don't want to force a real VAT number because it could cause some problems. But we are adding a red message saying that, well, a validity check with the VIS has been done and VIS is not recognizing that VAT number. Okay. An additional way of making sure that the VAT number is correct and so it can be delivered correctly on the Peppol network. Okay. I'm just going to read the question of Kim. So the invoice is sent from Idealoom to Peppol. This is issue for us. This is an issue for us because we are team leader as CRM and we need an official trace in team leader. Why is, I'm not sure why it is a problem. Maybe you do want to ask your question or explain why it's a problem, Kim?
Yes, Sami. We've discussed this internally, but it's mainly because we are working at Flex50 in collaboration with European projects and Flyo projects. And there we also always have to have the source in team leader.
Is it only me? No, it's on. We can, if you prefer, Kim, we can check it later on.
Okay.
Or I can schedule a call with you if you prefer. But this is an issue for us since we are using Team Leader as CRM and we need an official trace in Team Leader. I'm not sure what you mean with an official trace, but do you need it? I don't know if it's only me.
We can do a call later.
Oh, here, sorry. Oh. Sorry, let me double check one thing over here. I think it was me. Can you ask again? Sorry, Kim.
Hi, Sami.
Okay. It was definitely me. I'm so sorry.
Okay, no problem, but I guess we'll pick it up in a demo or in a call later, so I can explain.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Sorry, it was definitely me. What, there is another question in the chat, and it's, is the search function update only available on the new template? What do you mean with the search function?
Hi, Sami. Just
Hi,
how
Lisa.
The very first thing that you had showed on
Yeah,
on the search,
it
uh,
should be available for your account within the identity module. You don't see it?
let me just double check.
Within identity, um, you should see the search here.
Let me just have a look at that
Sure.
and then I'll come back.
Okay, but it's not related to the new template. It's basically one of our, back office functionalities. So it's just related to the identity module. We in the previous release, just so you know, we have also added that here, and so you can search on customers, documents, journals, reminders, and also on, for example, a VAT number, and you will see the invoice, or on things like that. Okay, so that's regarding e-invoicing. Okay, but again, I think it's a very important read. So please do read the user guide. It will give you all the information that is needed. Now, let me go back to my release. All right. Okay, now the next feature that we have released is like a new image uploader. Okay, so as you know, at different places within the back office edit mode of your event, you do have image uploader or file uploader. Okay, and so the most famous one, of course, is the cover image of your event. Now, as you see, it's a different feature. Let's say I am going to go into here and say, okay, that's a good one. You see it's completely different, and you can basically now, with this functionality here, edit that that image, and you can add any type of filters like on Instagram, Facebook, whatever is needed to make your image better. Now it's pretty obvious, but all these functionalities are now available within the you can change the contrast, you can change whatever you want. Have a look at, I'm not going to go into too many details because obviously I could speak hours about this thing, but I'm super happy about it because it gives a lot of custom flexibility and new functionalities basically. And I think it's you can even write on it and yeah, I know I'm probably not going to do that, but you can undo if you want. You can fully customize that image. You can add a lot of things. It's pretty, it's pretty advanced. You can change the format, etc. Resize it if you needed to, and add really your sizes over here. And of course, again, undo it if you need it. Now you can also crop it differently. It gives you a lot of flexibility. It gives you, better crop capabilities over here. And if I then click on done, I should not forget, then again, okay, it's uploaded, it's completed. It also, and then I add it over here, and you see it went from 6.2 megabyte to 139 kilobyte, whatever. So it has been resized, and it's first of all much better for us as Idealoom, because the size of the image has been reduced by miles, but also for you because every time if the image is too big and too much in size, then obviously it's gonna have weight, like it's gonna have a weight on your on the event website speed. So that's an additional feature that has been added. This image uploader obviously has been added to all the places where you can add an image. So if I go to speakers, then obviously there's a cover image over here as well, but there's also an image for each speaker. Now, if I click on that one, I can then see exactly the format. Okay, so it's rounded as our speakers images are. Okay, so you can like live see and change that how you want it. Okay, that's regarding the speakers. Obviously, it's the same for all the others, partners, sponsors, etc. Okay, now it's the same. Sorry, if I add a file, I will then again as well add the ability to upload that. Okay, so I'm not going to go into too much details about files, but you have that here as well. Okay, so within your event, at every place where there is an uploader, image uploader, or file uploader, the new editor basically or upload feature has been implemented. I do have a question here in the chat, so I'll read it. What are the possibilities for incorporating video into IDLoom? We have an organizer who wants to do this and is in the roadmap to do something around this. You can add, you can embed a video basically from, I don't know, YouTube or whatever. You can embed that straight away into the editor. So there you can within the event website, the homepage, you can add videos. So if, let's say, for example, after this recording, I have the embed link. Okay, you have to host it somewhere, but if I have the embed link, then I can basically, so this recording will be posted on YouTube. Okay, and there is an embed code, and I can basically add it over here. Okay, and still you can still upload that video. Does that answer your question, Kurt? That's a good question. That's a good question. Have you tested that out? I must admit that I'm not sure anymore. Yeah, you've tested that out. Okay. Let's look into that. Maybe we can chat about it and have a look at your use case and how you would like to implement that, and then I'm happy to investigate if that's something that we can implement further. Yeah. Yeah. So, Melissa, that's what we're discussing now. We can into looking into that. The only thing is, of course, that it's very how to say that we have to be very cautious about uploading videos, as videos are like very heavy, and that's why we haven't allowed the ability to like fully upload videos into our own server. Okay, because we've seen that even with images, before we have add those resizing capabilities, it's very consuming for our servers. So we need to be very cautious, and that's why it's best practice is to not host it directly onto the event website, but to have it hosted somewhere else and then embed it onto the website. Okay, so it's a decision to make that we haven't been able to make for now, as we've seen in the past that even, like I said, even with images, it's we do not want to take a risk into slowing our servers down, having the speed and performance of the platform going down because customers are uploading heavy videos or videos into our server. And then we keep it for how long? Because all of that, all the heavy, the weight of heavy images, files, videos is or has an impact straight away on the performance of the platform. So that's why we need to be very cautious about it. And that's why we made the decision until now to not host heavy files or videos into IDLoom.